कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी मिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you to our daily Bhagavad Gita reading session. We are reading chapter 1. This chapter 1 is divided into 5 sections. We are currently discussing the last section. And in the last section, Arjuna is giving all his arguments for not fighting the war. And he has given 4 such arguments, out of which we are now at last argument. So that is, last argument is destruction of family tradition. Let's see what all has happened in this section, Arjuna's doubt section. Arjuna was about to shoot the arrow. Then he thought that, oh my dear Krishna, let me have a look. Who have assembled here to fight? This is very obvious. Arjuna knew, it was pre-decided that who all are going to be in war in the other side. But still, Arjuna wants to see. That means it indirectly indicates that Arjuna is not so willing to fight. Then Krishna, understanding Arjuna's heart, took the chariot right in front of Drona and Bhishma. He could have taken to anywhere else, but he has taken because he knew what's all going on in Arjuna's heart. And seeing Drona and Bhishma, Arjuna is not ready to see them. He wants to avoid, but Krishna took the chariot right in front of them. Bhishma Drona Pramukhatah Sarvesang cha mahikhitam uvacha partha pashyetan samavetan kuruniti. O partha pashya itan, Bhishma and Drona. So after seeing Bhishma and Drona, Arjuna is completely devastated and he is no more willing to fight. Lot of symptoms happen. Bebathusya sarire me roma harsasya jayate gandivam sansate hastat tvakchaiva paridahyate siddhanti mama gatrani mukhancha parisushvati bebathusya sarire me roma harsasya jayate. All these symptoms we have discussed, how his mind is reeling, how Gandiva is slipping from his heart, how his skin is burning. Then at last he is telling, Nimitani cha pasyami viparitani Kesava. Oh my dear Kesava, I do not see any benefit. I just see only reversal in fighting this war. Hence, I am not willing to fight. And see further my arguments. Compassion arguments he has given. No enjoyment arguments he has given. Sinful reactions that he has given. Then the fourth is telling about how the society will be degraded. In verse 39, we have seen that if the superiors are killed, if Kulaksaye, if destruction of the dynasty will happen, what will it give rise to? Kula dharma pranasyati. The Vedic rituals will stop. The eternal family tradition will be destroyed. This is the second step. Then, if that will happen, what will it give rise to? Adharma abhibhavati. Irreligion predominates in the family. It will give rise to irreligion. Adharma abhibhavati. If that will happen, what it will give rise to? Kulastriya pradushanti. Women in the family will be polluted. They will become unchaste. Then what it will give rise to? It will give rise to Jayate Varna Sankara. Unwanted progeny will happen. That will give rise to unwanted progeny. Varna Sankara. Mixed caste. There will be inappropriate mixing of the women in the society with the men. And by this improper conduct, the next generation will not be so efficient. They will be Varna Sankar. So now, if that will happen, what it will give rise to? Srila Prabhupada is telling a prosperity of a society depends on its population. Peace and prosperity of a society depends on its population. If population is good, then society will be good. That's the reason, in our movement, we want to teach Bhagavad Gita to each and every person. What is our intention? Intention is, if people will follow the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in their life, then they will be transformed. By such transformation, if you see, if some percentage of the population will be transformed, then also it is good enough to sustain peace and prosperity in the society. Yeah, this is our attempt in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada, using his teaching. Yeah, that's what we are attempting to. First of all, we have to learn by ourselves and then apply in our life. If at all we see our life is transforming, then we will definitely feel motivated to propagate this knowledge. So if Varna Sankara, if the population in the society will be not so good, then what will happen? There will be chaos in the society. All kinds of community projects and family welfare activities will be devastated. Why we are seeing a lot of chaos in the society in present day? Because many of this population got born in the excitement of Friday and Saturday night. That's the reason the condition of society is so. If at proper consciousness, men and women will not be united, then how they can invoke or attract the pious souls? It's impossible. With the mode of passion only, so these things are taking place. There is no any proper samskara. That's the root of it. Nevertheless, so Bhagavad Gita knowledge is available. So Lord will also tell in 9th chapter, Kipram bhavati dharmatma saswachantim nikachati Arjuna pratijanahi name bhaktya pranasati. If someone by any means come in contact with my devotee and follow this path of devotion, pure devotional service, and become my devotee, surrender to me, Kipram bhavati dharmatma, he will very soon become righteous. Doesn't matter. In the previous verse, he is telling, Apichet suduracharo bhajante mam ananya bhag sadhur evasya mandapya samyak vyavasita hi saha. He is telling, Apichet suduracharo. He might be sudurachara. He might be very fallen. He might be the worst of worst. But Apichet sudurachara bhajanti mam ananya bhag. If he decided to bhajanti, to decided to do my bhajan, to worship me, bhajanti mam ananya bhak, unflinching, put all his trust and devotion unto me, not divided trust, undivided trust. Okay, undivided trust means he is not putting his trust on some other devata, Agni Dev, Sani Dev, Surya Dev, Ganeshi, Not, no also. Because by worshipping only, he knows that by worshipping only the Achyuta or Lord Krishna, I am satisfying all other demigods, devatas also. I need not to do any extraneous activity to pleasing the demigods. Bhagavatam says, Yatha tarur nisechanena truptanti tapskanda bhujopasakha pranapayahaccha yathendriyanam sarvarharam achyutejya. That means while we water the root of a tree, then the whole tree will be nourished automatically. We need not to water the fruits, branches, twigs, leaves, not necessary. So similarly, if you worship Achyuta, Lord Krishna, then other devatas are the twigs, branches, leaves in the body of Achyuta. He is the root of everything. He is the cause of all causes. Ishvara Paramakrishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adi Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. He is the cause of all causes. He is the root of everything. All the demigods are his bodily limbs. So that a pure devotee knows perfectly. So he has no disrespect towards the demigod because he knows that ultimately they are all serving the Lord's mission. So in a way, they are the greatest of Vaishnavas. So he seeks their blessings. He seeks their blessings. Oh, my dear Ganesha, can you please bless me to infuse Krishna Bhakti in my heart? I don't have any other desire. And if at all he wants to ask something, he will go to Krishna only. He will not go to Ganesha and ask, oh, Sarva Vigna Vinasaya Ganadipataya Nama. Oh, you are the destroyer of all the obstacles in life. Please destroy all my obstacles. No. He will go to Krishna and say, oh, my dear Krishna, please remove my obstacle. So if at all he will ask something to Lord Ganesha, he will tell, oh, can you please, oh my Lord Ganesha, can you please remove all the obstacles in my life so that I can practice Krishna Bhakti very well. So everything will be centered around Krishna Bhakti and devotion to Krishna. So this is the mood of a devotee. So if in this mood, unflinching, ananyabha, okay, this word is very important, ananyabha, okay, then sadhur eva samantavya. Krishna is telling, no matter if he is Sudracharo, but if he is engaged in unflinching devotion of me, then sadhur eva samantavya. You have to consider him as sadhu. Why? He has not yet become sadhu, but he will be becoming sadhu very soon. Kipram bhavati dharmatma sasvasantim nigachati Arjuna pratijanihi name bhaktya pranasati. Oh Arjuna, if I will tell, people might not take it seriously. Because sometimes I also break my vows. But if my devotee will say, then I always protect my devotee's vow. I never let it go. So you speak, you declare the whole world. Okay, Name Bhaktya Pranashyati. Arjuna Pratijanihi. You declare to the rest of the world. And if you declare, I am bound to keep your promise. So this is what the mood of our Supreme Lord. And this is what he says. Okay, so let us go to the discussion of today. Verse number 43. Utsana kula dharmana manusyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati ti anususruma. You all can recite along with me. Verse number 43. Utsana kula dharmanam manusyanam janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati ti anususruma. Utsana kula dharmanam
उत्सानाकुलधर्माणाम्
manusyanam janardana
मनुष्याणां जनार्दन
narake niyatam vaso
नरके
Vaso
वासो
bhavati anususruma.
Bhavati.
अनुसुसुर्मा
Very good. One more last time. Utsana kula dharmanam
उत्सानाकुलधर्माणाम्
manusyanam janardana
मनुष्याणां जनार्दन
narake niyatam vaso
नरके
Vaso
वासो
bhavati anususruma.
Bhavati.
भवतीति हे अनुसुसुर्मा
Wonderful. I'm really pleased. Now your Sanskrit pronunciation, all of you, you are doing very good Sanskrit pronunciation. Understood. Thank you. Synonyms. Utsana, spoiled. Kuladharmanam, of those who have the family traditions. Manusyanam, of such men. Janardana, O Krishna. Narake, in hell. Niyatam, always. Vasaha, residence. Bhavati, it so becomes. Iti, thus. Anususruma, I have heard by disciplic succession. Arjuna, whatever arguments he has given until today, it's not his fabricated in the mind. No, he's telling, he's backing of his proof. He's telling, oh my dear Krishna, I have heard by disciplic succession, Anususruma. From the Vedic wisdom only, he is presenting these arguments. So this is also a point to be learned. Whatever arguments we give in any situation, it should be backed up by Shastra. Utsana kula dharmanam manusyanam janardana narake niyatam vasaha bhavatiti anususruma. Translation. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, O Janardana, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed, they dwell always in hell. Janardana. O Janardana, O Krishna, O protector of the people, iti anususruma, I have heard this. Utsana kula dharmanam manusyanam, those men whose family rules are destroyed. Narake niyatam vasah bhavati. Narake niyatam vasah bhavati. They always live in hell. Purport. Arjuna bases his argument not on his own personal experience, but on what he has heard from the authorities. That is the way of receiving real knowledge. One cannot reach the point, one cannot reach the real point of actual knowledge without being helped by the right person who is already established in that knowledge. There is a system in the Varnashram institution by which before death one has to undergo the process of atonement for his sinful activities. There is a system in the Varnashram institution by which before death one has to undergo the process of atonement for his sinful activities. Okay, prayaschita. Atonement means prayaschita. For all the papa karma, sinful activities, before the death, someone has to do the prayaschita, atonement. One who is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process of atonement called prayaschita. Without doing so, one surely will be transferred to hellish planets to undergo miserable lives as the result of sinful activities. Like the common people who are not devotees, this process is applicable for them. If at all they do not undergo any atonement before they depart this life, then they have to suffer those sinful activities, sinful reactions in the hellish planets. If before leaving this world they do atonement, they do payashchita, then they might not have to go through those sinful reaction in the hellish planets. One point 4.4. Aho bata mahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yad rajya sukha lobhena hantum swajana mudyata. Please recite along with me verse number 44. Aho bata mahat papam
Aho bata
Mahapapam
mahapapam
kartum vyavasita vayam
kartum
Kurtum
vyavasitavayam
yad rajya sukha lobhena
yadraja sukhalovena
hantum swajana mudyataha.
Antum
antum swajanamudyatam
Aho bata mahat papam
Aho bata Mahapapam
kartum vyavasita vayam
Kartum Vyavasitavayam
yad rajya sukha lobhena
Yadarajya Sukulobhena
hantum swajana mudyataha.
Antum Swajanya Mudhyata
Aho bata mahat papam
Aho bata Mahapapam
kartum vyavasita vayam
Kartum Vyavasitavayam
yad rajya sukha lobhena
Yadarajya Sukulobhena
hantum swajanam udyataha.
Antum Swajanya Mudhyata.
Wonderful. Arjuna is telling, alas, aho vata, mahat papam. Oh my dear Krishna, this is mahat papa. Ghastly sin. Mahat papam. Kartum vyavasita bayam. Bayam means aham, avam bayam. Aham means me. Avam means we too. Means you. And bayam. Bayam means we. Now we in a plural sense. Kartum vyavasita mahat papam. We are about to do or indulge in ghastly sinful activities. Why? Yad rajya sukha lobhena. Because of getting some petty happiness from the kingdom, and what we will, this kingdom can only be got by hantum swajana buddhyata, by killing our swajanam. You see Arjuna's perspective. Arjuna started addressing them. Dhartarashtrasya durbuddhir. Let me see all these evil-minded personality who have come here to support Dhartarashtra, the sons of Dhritarashtra. Durbudhir now is transformed to Swajanam, because now his perspective is centered around Bhishma and Drona. Synonyms: aho, alas, bata, how strange it is; mahat papam, great sins; kartum, to perform; vyavasitaha, have decided; vayam, we; yat, because; rajya sukha lovena, driven by greed for royal happiness; hantum, to kill; swajanam, kinsmen; udyataha, trying. Translation: alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Aho bata mahat papam How come we are intending to commit this great sin? Kartum vyavasita vayam. We are decided to encounter this great sin. Yad swa janam hantumudyata. We are now ready to kill our own people. For what? Rajya sukhalovena. For gaining the happiness of a kingdom. So how strange is it? Purport. Driven by selfish motives, one must be inclined to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brother, father, or mother. There are many such instances in the history of the world, but Arjuna, being a saintly devotee of the Lord, is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care to avoid such activities. So, why people, although unwillingly, they are indulging in many sinful activities, even in killing their own brothers, fathers, mothers. Why? Because of only selfish motives. They are so blinded by their selfish motivations that sometimes they do not hesitate to commit this kind of great sins. But Arjuna is a saintly devotee. He is very much conscious of moral principles, and therefore he wants he wants to avoid such activities. Time is off. Thank you all very much. Thank you for your patientful hearing. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.